Welcome to our deep dive into cross-cultural leadership. Today, in this special edition, we're exploring how Peru and France shape their leadership styles to tackle global challenges.
From ethical practices to stakeholder dynamics, real world leaders and diversity, our team got you covered with fresh insight. Let's kick things off with leadership styles and business ethics.
Hi, I'm Valeria, and let's jump into leadership styles. In France, leaders tend to be autonomous, making complex independent decisions as highlighted by the Globe project. This style outshines the global average, with leaders seen as assertive and self-reliant. According to the Center for Creative Leadership, French leaders also show charismatic leadership, inspiring teams with vision, showing a strong sense of purpose. This style in France is valued, but not as much as globally. Meanwhile, self-protective leadership with status-conscious behaviors is more common in France than globally. Now, let's check out Figure 1 for France leadership scores. In Peru, leadership is more about relationships and hierarchy. Leaders build trust through personal connections, acting as mentors while holding authority. Now, let's talk about business ethics or ESG, environmental, social, and governance standards. France leads with strict laws like the DIBOR, the vigilance, cutting carbon footprints through renewable energy, and biodiversity incentives. Peru's mining sector is adopting circular economies to reduce waste, but weak oversight slows progress. Socially, France enforces gender equity, while Peru advances inclusion but struggles with governance due to corruption.
Ethics lay the foundation, but stakeholders bring leadership to life. Let's move on to chapter 2 so we can know more about stakeholders and leadership.
Hi, I'm Chantal, and I'm going to describe how stakeholders shape leadership. In France, employees expect rationality and transparency. Leaders have a strong academic background, engage in authority work, and open negotiation. In Peru, employees will follow hierarchy respectfully. As long as there's trust, they can express themselves.
According to Trompenaars and Haften Turner in 1998, the leader tends to establish a personal connection with employees by developing communication lines which nurture trust, as shown in Figure 2. External stakeholders matter too. In Statista 2025, French unions were made strong by 23.2% of public sector workers that were unionized in 2019, which is great for collective bargaining because they shape what leaders need to negotiate to get fair wages. In Peru, unions were not strong, and that allowed firms to place profit over rights. Let's see Figure 3 and Figure 4 for trends in unions.
According to Statista 2025, government also influenced CSR. France strict regulations and 70% consumer support for responsible firms drive sustainability. Leon Untiveros 2010 say that Peru's corruption and fragmented economy lead to minimal compliance. Let's see Figure 5 and 6. Let's see Figure 7. Communities played a role too. French communities aligned with Elkington's in 1997 triple bottom line demanding sustainability. According to Gestion 2025, in Peru, rural mining communities protest environmental harm, but firms often respond with token gestures.
Stakeholders set the scene, but real leaders steal the show. Let's explore Chapter 3, Real Leaders and Diversity.
I'm Annie, and let's meet important leaders and their leadership styles.
Peruvian former President Martín Vizcarra led with centralized control, protecting institutional order during crisis.
His style reflects Peru's high power distance, collectivism, and uncertainty avoidance.
President Emmanuel Macron, since 2017, drive reform with analytic, individualistic leadership.
Aligning with France's high individualism and long-term orientation. Now, talking about diversity and gender equality, in Peru, gender and sexual diversity is a complex and important issue. Gender inequality remains widespread in many areas, and women face challenges such as salary gaps and limited access to leadership positions. This is why the Peruvian government has implemented public policies such as the National Gender Equality Policy. Still, implementation and social change takes time.
Prominent female leaders like Gloria Montenegro, former Minister of Women and Vulnerable Populations, have played key roles in advocating for equality and addressing violence. Her leadership shows how women's perspective can influence political priorities in meaningful ways.
In contrast, France has made clear progress toward equality and diversity. It has introduced laws promoting gender balance in workplace and in leadership positions, such as the Rixon Law of 2021. Also, France legalized same-sex marriage years ago.
Current Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne is a key example of female leadership in France. She has been instrumental in tackling issues like climate change and labor reforms, leading with collaboration and inclusivity that contrast the traditional male dominated political style.
From leaders to lessons, this program is already coming to an end. So let's wrap up with Chapter 4 Key Takeaways and Recommendations.
Marjorie, and here are 5 important takeovers. First, French leadership is autonomous and logical, but it needs stronger soft skills for remote work and AI integration. Second, Peruvian management is hierarchical, but moves to digital and inclusive practice driven by trust and relationship. Their stakeholders are different in key areas. French unions and rules drive ethical practice. Will Peruvian weak institutions prefer profiles? For France accept digital tools such as Microsoft Teams faster than Peru, where the infrastructure hinder. The author of that they say that PwC 20 and 21 American Development Bank 20 and 19. Fifth, diversity and sustainability are critical of global and France in leading and Peru progress. Ipsos 20 and 22. Now 5 suggestions. First of all, you need to train French leaders in empathy. The year is at 20 and 25. In the middle of the year, to manage every teams and use AI effectively. Secondly, Peruvian equality workshops are restarted on the basis of national gender equality policy. Dear, invest in the AI comparison to increase links in both countries. Fourth, you need to start French mentoring programs on the raising law to diverse managers. Fifth, change the Peruvian CCA to the true invest of the public data labs. Do the CDG 5 and CDG 8 as sustainable many projects. Thanks.
From Lima to Paris, leadership is as diverse as the culture it serves, whether it's France's logical autonomy or Peru's relational hierarchy. Empathy, ethics, and inclusions are the traits that tie great leaders together across borders.
Thank you for joining us in this journey. Let's commit to building a future where leadership embraces diversity, sustainability, and responsibility. Start today, whether it's advocating for inclusion in your workplace or supporting ethical businesses. Every step counts towards a connected global world. See you next time.